All right, we're back talking about third-party games that are set for E3 in just a few short weeks. So let's talk about a game that Michael likes to talk about a lot on Pack Attack, GTA 5. I get a lot of questions. So is Rockstar going to be at E3?
Oh, probably not. They'll do a remote camera link from their penthouse in Brooklyn, but no.
I mean, GTA 5 obviously is a big game. They've really only done one thing about this game, which was a trailer they put out last fall and haven't said anything
we're
since then.
way overdue.
Right.
I think if you want some financial shenanigans, Take-Two has a convertible bond that is callable on June 5th, which is the first day of E3.
Yeah.
If the stock has been at $16 for 20 days in a row, I think it would be really good for Take-Two to get something to get investors excited because they have a bunch of cash. They'd like to call this bond. I think they make the announcement. I think it's coming. It just coincidentally is the first day of E3.
What do you mean by make the announcement? They've already announced the game.
I think they make the announcement of date.
Okay.
And they say it's just about finished. The date, I think, is proximate enough that people believe it's done.
And when is it coming out, do you think?
October 23rd.
October 23rd.
I mean, what
2012.
if this is true? I don't know if I even want this to be true. I mean, that literally is a
crowded holiday.
neutron bomb that you have just dropped in what was already an oversaturated.
I'll tell you that
suddenly Bioshock Infinite has a real problem. Suddenly,
GameStop will be happy.
yeah, GameStop will be very
It's a
happy.
high-class
Now,
problem.
is that based on any real information, or
No.
that's just speculation?
Speculation.
So you just couch that people. This is just.
But I mean, look, it would make Take-Two very happy if two Rockstar titles could come out in one fiscal year.
Yeah,
it's just like, there are certain financial incentives. I think they should do it.
I criticized Rockstar about 2 years ago, and I said
Not doing enough games, you said.
I said they're not productive. I said they're really talented, but they're not productive enough. One game a year, and I got feedback. They're going to show me. So the only way they can show me is 2 games in a year. So it's either GTA or Agent.
No, but it's also
Which one's
a way
coming out?
They craft this stuff so finally they've shown they can do 1 game a year and make it fantastic.
And
Right?
they own the spring. They've owned the spring with with Red Dead and before that GTA. And I mean October 23rd will be less than 5 months
and
out.
strong DLC.
And they have it. They want to get on the
And
cover
a
of it.
numbered GTA. I mean, this is GTA 5. It's not GTA 4 or something. I mean, whatever they're doing with this game, is going to. I think it's going to be quite ambitious, and to think that that's going to just magically pop out, who knows? I guess it could happen, but it's also, Rockstar does not typically participate in E3.
Yeah.
Well,
So
not since Hot Coffee. They did every year prior to Hot Coffee.
Right.
So Hot Coffee, if you remember, broke in May of '05, and they skipped E3 because they inadvertently told an untruth. I don't want to call them liars. By saying that wasn't in the game, that was a hacker that put it in the game. Then it was revealed it was in the game, and they were embarrassed, and they didn't show up to E3. And they haven't been since. They were at every E3 prior to that.
Right.
Every one.
But it's, as a game, it sounds like a lot of people are speculating it's going to be there. People are going to be playing it. We'll have to see. But it's there are lots of other games, I think, and there's a lot of noise at E3 too. And I feel like that's a game that they can, show whenever they want to, and people will pay attention to that one. So let's move on to some other ones. Let's talk about Ubisoft. They've got Assassin's Creed 3, which is another game, Shane, you mentioned, like Bioshock. They've shown a lot of the press. The public hasn't really seen this game in motion yet. What's your take on that one, Shane? You think that's going to be, is that going to be the reboot that they need? Because I loved Assassins 2 and Brotherhood. Revelations I was disappointed in. But
I've liked them all, but I think most people feel like you. They like the first one. Most people say the second one was their favorite. And then your mileage may vary with the ones after that.
Right.
My fear is that people have tuned the franchise out, which in my opinion would be a huge mistake because what I've seen of Assassin's Creed 3 literally blew me away, and I am jaded. I mean, I have been to so many game debuts over the last however many years. It takes a lot for a game to make a huge impression on me, and that game did. Like, I literally walked out of that demo and I was like, damn. Like, they're finally doing what people have been asking for. Doing a new game.
People in the UK have been asking.
You're worried about international sales.
I want to know.
But this game, I mean, it feels like, this Assassins has always been selling incredibly well, right? I mean, even last year I didn't love the game, but it still sold well. Is this really becoming a flagship franchise for our industry, Michael?
I think it's mind-boggling that Call of Duty sells more with an annual franchise every year, and it's mind-boggling to me that Assassin's Creed, which really does feel like the same game to me every year. I thought 2 was great, but I mean they feel the same. That it sells 7 or 8 million units every year. I think nothing goes up forever. 7 might be the right number, might be the sustainable number, and Ubi pretty much needs the revenue, needs the income, so it's coming out. I, as a gamer, would rather not get a game every year, get the same franchise every year, because there's other
Right.
stuff I want to buy.
No, I agree. But you look at this as a common sort of thing that we're seeing more and more of, and it's like Call of Duty does it every
Yeah,
year.
but Call of Duty kind of functions more like Madden. It just feels like a sports thing because the multiplayer is so heavy. I think there is something when you have such a narrative-heavy game as Assassin's Creed, and I felt this way about Uncharted 3. That
Right.
I wanted more than 2 years. I loved Uncharted 2, and I didn't get a chance to
Right.
miss Uncharted 2 before Uncharted 3 came out.
Right.
I think Assassin's Creed runs the same thing. I cannot wait for 3. I think it'll help me also sort of dispense with my misgivings, especially about Revelations, and kind of go forward. I hope after 3, they just chill out and give it a couple of years before.
Right, 'cause that's the risk if you have the same, hero, the
Yeah.
Native American hero for 3 or 4 years of games or whatever. It could be tough. But then there's, the leap potentially to the next generation. So what do they do there? All right, guys, we are getting closer and closer to E3, and next week we will be back with our final episode of the bonus round before E3, looking at more of the big third-party games. See you then.